Hey everyone. So a PS5 came in today with its usual HDMI port problems, but this one's a little different. Um, it's missing its port. There's a hole in the console. For all I know, the port could be in fantastic condition, or ever it may be, but it's not in the console where it should be. So, hoping there's not too much damage done. Hoping there's no damage done, and it's just going to be a simple port replacement. But judging by the damage to the plastic and the bits of metal that's sticking up inside, probably not going to be so lucky. But anyway, let's get it apart. Let's figure out what needs to be done. We'll get her fixed. All right, closer look at the board. Immediately, we're missing a capacitor, but pads are intact. This is good. Yeah, a little bit of scuffing, exposed traces there. The mask is wore away, but not bad. Diode's fine. It's all attached. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's clean this up a bit. Clean up those vias. Get this ready for a new port. All right, we got everything all cleaned up. No damage, thankfully. Port is missing, obviously, but new port, and we'll install a new capacitor. And hopefully that's all it is. So stay tuned. All right, it's flux time. Going to be pretty generous with it, as flux is your friend, so don't be afraid of it. Make sure all the pads are well covered. We're going to lay our port in place. Everything is all well lined up. And press it down. We're just going to get a little bit of heat now from our hot air station. So it only takes a couple of seconds. You just got to wait for the solder on the pads to liquefy. You'll see them slowly wick up across on the pins. And just make sure she's well heated. Everything is properly flowed. I'm currently applying pressure to the top of the connector as well with my tweezers, just to make sure it's well pressed down and everything is making full contact. And that should just about do it. All right, just gonna touch up a few now with the iron. Sometimes you get it good with the hot air first time, but it's always good to just go back and touch them up. Just make sure that every pin has a solid connection, and when you put it back together, you don't turn it on and no signal, and you had to strip it down and restart. So just a few more pins to finish off. Again, you just touch up the last few just to make sure that you got everything covered. This little one, I think, is a bit of melted plastic is in the way. Anyway. And just drag them through, make sure the pins are well soaked in solder, makes a good connection. And we'll get that capacitor on now in a second. Just finish that last corner piece, and now we'll test the pins, make sure everything is connected, clean it up. Very important, let's get rid of that flux. Alcohol, lots of it. Don't drink this stuff. Isopropyl will probably send you to wherever the original port is gone. Anyway, let's check all your pins. A couple of very popular YouTube videos would always say solid, solid, solid on each pin. I'm not going to do that. You can see if they move or not. So far, everything is well connected. Basically, I'm just using the tip of a needle, reaching in and just applying some slight lateral pressure against the side to see if they move. So, all right, it's capacitor time. The very last thing we need to finish off is replace that capacitor. So I just got it in some flux. I'm gonna lay it on the board. This is very, very small. The video don't quite show scale. But that capacitor is maybe a millimeter or a little bit wider. So every now and then you'll see a rod that looks like what I poke right here. This is a needle. It's the tip of a sewing needle. So it'll give you an idea how big it is. So I'm just positioning it in place. Gonna hit it with some hot air now. And of course it twisted on me. But it's still connected. It's not straight, but it's connected. It'll work. Alright, so we got the PS5 back together. Let's check it out. So the HDMI port was, I wouldn't say replaced, it was more so added because it wasn't there. Not a whole lot I can do with the plastic. It's cracked, it's broke. It is what it is. But the port's been replaced. So let's plug it all in, see if she works, and see if this was just a waste of time, or if we have a functional PS5 again. Sorry. Get everybody to see what I'm doing here. Here we go. Will it work? There we go. All right, it's fixed. Thanks for tuning in.